Hello, Renee Flamont here. You guys, as we've discussed many times about taking time to get to know someone lest you enter into another union with a toxic individual or someone that's not healthy for you, or a narcissist, or whatever word you want to use, taking time to get to know someone is the ultimate way to protect yourself against that happening. So I'm very confused when I still see people rushing in. And I just want to know why. Like, that is very suspicious to me. If someone is rushing you, if you are rushing things, why? Where's the fire? It can't hurt to take the time. And some people, I asked this question over the weekend, and one answer I got was, and some people answer this way, and I understand this as well. Well, if you're meeting people, on the line, say, or whatever, and you want to know right away if they're good for you, meet them right away, and then that way you're not having to waste a lot of time. And okay, I get that. But I'm talking about, I've seen people fly to meet people. I've seen people really hinge their hopes on, I might marry this one, and you just met. What is the harm in waiting, right? Steve Harvey's book, famously, the 90-day rule or whatever he puts in place. Think of that in terms of time as well. Again, online, I took a long time to meet people generally, and I can see the perspective of, well, meet right away and see if there's chemistry. But I don't want to meet unless I think we have a banter that's fruitful. But then some people aren't good on the line and in text, so maybe you have to meet them. I understand the online meeting right away versus not issue and how there's pros and cons. But rushing into something, and if you're rushing in, right? If you're rushing into something, you know it. I don't understand what's wrong with taking time. It certainly can't hurt, but rushing definitely can hurt, and has many times for many people. I get it if it feels like a whirlwind and you convince yourself that it's a whirlwind. I've done it. Only to find out, if I had taken the time, the whirlwind part of it was a put on to manipulate me into thinking it was all this in a bucket of chicken. But had I taken time, even just a little bit more time than I gave, I would have seen with no effort whatsoever, I would have seen, oh, this cat's dysfunctional. Or we're just not right for each other. I'm not trying to blame everything on the other person, but if you take time, there's no danger in taking time. It could be a narcissist love bombing you. And the next video on Wednesday, we're going to talk about what love bombing can sound like, because it sounds fine and normal and lovely. And of course you're going to believe it, because they're trying to make you think that you're going to believe it. I keep moving my hair out of my eyes. It's time to cut it. I will film it for you guys because I got new scissors. I'm very excited. The only way to know if it is a narcissist who is love bombing you is to take your time. And if over the course of that time, they don't follow through with things they told you that were going to happen, you see that the relationship with their family is odd, friends, how they work, how they live, all of those things take time. And life isn't a rom-com, right? And no one loves a rom-com more than me. I want the Hollywood ending. I want all of it. But when you think about the structure of a rom-com, and how fast sometimes they're getting to know each other, and how hard they're falling in love within just the time frame that they're giving us, right? Some fast forward a lot of time, like Notting Hill. It takes you through the seasons. I love that scene. When he's walking and the seasons are changing, I love how a movie can do that. But sometimes it's so fast, and that makes you think, oh, that can happen. Life's not a rom-com. And I am sorry, there is absolutely no way you can know someone in 2 dates. Oh, but I knew. I've told you before, I know several couples that, I knew on the second date. And they did find a stellar person. And they can look back and say they knew. But it also could be that person was not a healthy person and not a stellar person. And you can, in retrospect, look back all day long and say, it was love at first sight, I knew it. I believe in that, love at first sight. But I don't think you should jump at first sight, even if that's what you're feeling. Even if you would bet everything you had that the person is a great person. How do you know on the second date? I'm using that as an example, second date. You don't. You can't possibly, Renee. And I use myself because I've done it a million times. Had I just waited a little bit, I would have seen this or that, or noticed this or that, and it could have saved me a ton of trouble. And what this channel was developed for is to tell you things, warn you, let you know what I've done wrong, try to save you from the turmoil, the chaos, the drama. And I've told you many times, you have to see time and action from these people before you know what kind of person they are. And again, I know couples that, oh, it was love at first sight. If you're married 50 years, 20 years, 10 years, and you're looking back and telling me that, I believe you. I believe you. Because I believe in that, because I'm a romantic person inside my heart, mind, body, and soul. But I'm not jumping, even if it is love at first sight. You don't have to jump. If they feel that way, they'll be there for the month it takes you, 3 months it takes you. I just spit. 6 months it takes you. Whatever it takes you, they will be there. They're not going anywhere if they're a stellar person. And if they do go somewhere in the midst of you taking your time and asking them to be patient and you moving slowly and maybe not seeing them as much as they want to see you or not seeing them as quickly as they want to see you or meet you, if they aren't willing to do that, that's a character flaw. What's the rush? I always want to know why. What's the rush? Is nothing. Why? So I want you to pay attention to that, because I will say forevermore, as somebody that jumped in way more times than I should have, if they are rushing you, that's suspicious. And if you're rushing yourself, I want you to look at that. Why? Well, I've been lonely a long time. I'm desperate. I want a partner. I understand all that. I do. I do. And young girls, you know, if they haven't married yet and they're at a certain age, you know, and they want children, I understand that. But to rush it after knowing someone for a short time, it's the most dangerous thing you can do in terms of getting wrapped up in another unhealthy person. Keep your eye on that.